Today we have our annual cane boil and longleaf pine youth fiddle and open string band contest going on. And so our cane boil is where we annually press the sugar cane, which you see here behind me, and we boil the liquid juice down into make cane syrup. And that was a traditional thing done once a year on southern farms. The cane grows for a whole year. We will be replanting just after this cane boil. So next week or two we'll be replanting the cane, and it takes a whole year to grow just as it starts to get a little bit of cold weather, which we've had that couple of cold snaps that have helped it get sweet this year. And it gets that little bit of cold weather that concentrates the sugar in the plants, and then we actually cut the stalks off, strip all the leaves off of the stalks, and then it gets run through the press. And it's also called a cane grinder. All the old timers call it cane grinding, but it doesn't grind it, it actually presses the juice out of the stalks, crushing the stalks, and then that juice is carried over to the kettle, and we have a 60-gallon kettle, so we'll fill 60 gallons with juice from the cane.
Well, you squeeze the juice and then you pour it in here, and just basically you're evaporating the water out of the juice. And it's a 60-gallon kettle, so we'll get approximately 6 gallons of juice out of this. It takes 4 to 6 hours of boiling. And so all we're doing is boiling. We just get it to the right consistency, and then it's bottled.
Usually late afternoon we'll pull the syrup, it'll be ready, and that takes a while to actually cool in the bottles before we can label it. So we always have a boil a few days before, also during the week, to have some available for sale that day. A cane boil would have traditionally been a good get-together for the community, so they would have gotten several families together and held a big cane boil, and if you had another farm nearby you might move around to the different farms, so they'd have several big parties, get-togethers for cane boils. It's really day-to-day life in an 1870s farm. That's what we're normally portraying on a Saturday. We still have that going on in addition to having the cane boil, letting people come and see the animals. The small kids, really, the animals are their thing they're interested in. We also get grandparents bringing the kids out on game days, and those grandparents, will remember some components of this life. It might not be exactly the same because obviously those grandparents weren't here in 1870, but we find that a lot of those components, maybe they lived with an outhouse or they lived with a hand pump well, and so we see that they're really tying into the generations, and they're talking with their grandkids about what it was like to live with that, and the kids get to have some hands-on. The kids were over here pressing the grinder and pressing the stalks of cane earlier, and they get to handle the animals, and they get to help with pumping water and trying some of those skills, things that they would have been doing in 1870. All through the morning is the youth kids, the little kids playing fiddle, and in the afternoon is our open string band contest, which is mixed stages, at least 3-piece bands.
Well, we gave ourselves the name of Turtle Creek. We've been playing as a Turtle Jam since, the first people since February, and that's how it sort of happens with these social music groups, where you come together, learn how to play, and then gradually work your way into more sophisticated venues.
It's an idea of this music is social music, and it's meant to be participated in. So we get together as a group, and we all are learning the instruments that we're playing, and so we play the tunes very slowly, and we learn the tunes by ear. So it's done the way that this kind of music has been played, I guess as long as it's been played. And so it's just an idea of having people make music and participate in the music as a social experience as much as anything else, as opposed to just watching it on MTV. It's nice to, again, have people come to a place like Morningside to see this traditional recreated farm and to like the cane grinding, to see how things have been done, for many, many, many years. And I think this is living history is very good.
The next big event we have coming up is the Air Potato Roundup, which is the last Saturday in January. And then after that, here at the farm, our next major event is the Farm and Forest Festival, and that will be the last weekend of April. And then, of course, we'll have the cane boil again next year on the Saturday following Thanksgiving.